You know that black people are gonna rise. In our breath swells up that desire to take the foot of the tyrant off our neck, and if necessary, crush the tyrant that his foot will never step on another neck again. And so, as I leave you, family, I challenge you to be freedom fighters.
They tried slavery. It did not stop black people. They tried colonization. It didn't stop black people. They tried segregation. It did not stop black people. They tried destroying our history as black people. Still, it did not stop black people. Now, something powerful is happening right now across the world. Many people did not expect that. Yes, black pride. Black pride is rising everywhere. Yes, from Africa to America to the Caribbean to Europe, and even in places where black people were once told they had no value, a global awakening is happening. And this awakening cannot be stopped. It cannot be stopped.
Thank you, dear Black Americans, for your tenacity, your courage, and the unbreakable spirit that refused to bow. Even under chain, pressure, and generation injustice. Thank you for your fighting battles in street, in courtroom, in classroom, and even inside your own homes. Knowing you might never live long enough to see victories you were planting. Thank you for carrying hope. Thank you for carrying hope. When hope was dangerous, when your voice were punished, and when simply existing with dignity was an act of resistance. Thank you, dear Black Americans, for your fight, your courage, your persistence. I just want to say thank you. Happy Black History.
Grand Rising Kings and Queens, I'm here again. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you, and I see the love that you are showing me. Thank you so much. Continue supporting. So today, we are going to talk about something here, something powerful. Black pride is rising across the world, and it is shaking foundations of many systems. Let's watch these clips first, and then we continue.
I want you all to remember that this system, the United States system, is not all-powerful, nor is white supremacy. As a matter of fact, white supremacy is going to bring this system down, at least in my opinion. And as you think they got it sewn up, not enough people are doing anything, I want you to remember these words. We, black people, are still here. They began to aggressively start colonizing Africa in the 1420s, and we are still here. Between the 1420s and the 1800s, they murdered hundreds of millions of people in Africa, and we are still here. Across this planet, the Europeans enslaved us for more than 600 fucking years, and we are still here. The place that was first the colonies and now the United States enslaved us for 400 years, and we are still here. Germany tried its genocide that it did on the gypsies and the crippled and the LGBTQ and the Jewish people. They first did it in Africa. and we are still here. In this country alone, we went through Jim Crow, segregation. And the problem when people say segregation, they seem to think, oh, it was just a separate but equal thing. No, it was violent, it was chaotic, and we are still here. They formed this thing called the Klan that swept across the country. White folks was joining that thing everywhere. And they lynched us practically every day since 1868 until around 1968. We are still here. Police violence, assassinations, destroying our towns, stealing our inventions, trying to starve us out. They didn't give this country universal health care because not only were they afraid that black people would get it too, but they figured if they didn't and added copay to everything, we would die out. We are still here. America was not the first place or the only place to sterilize our women, and we are still here. They have tried everything. They want to get rid of us badly or subjugate us badly, and we are still here. Now in America, the worst of the worst of the Caucasian persuasion is going through backflips to find excuses to unalive black people, people who disagree with them, the LGBTQ, trans. But to black people, I'm not saying that trans, LGBTQ, the rest of them are not resilient. But I think we're gonna survive them. First off, the truth of the matter is, I'm not looking for white allies, but I do realize that not enough white people agree with their agenda. The powers that be want these white supremacist groups to start attacking us. They want MAGA to start offing people in droves. And I don't think they're gonna get away with it. I want you to defend yourself, not simply because I want people to live, but also because the only way we are going to stop them is to fight back and take them out. To let them know the price of their white United States ethno-state will be, you're gonna have to bleed for it. If you want to change this country into this weird paradise that never existed, fight us. And that's the only thing that's going to push them back and stop them. But I think they're going to try. I think a lot of us are going to be unalived. But I also am thoroughly convinced, because I know history, that no matter what they do short of dropping a nuke, we will still be here. And so before you think they are all powerful, I want you all to remember that no matter what they've done to us, we are still here, and we will still be here because they're not supreme, they're not superior, they're not the default anything. They're losers. Because if they had their way, we would not be here, and we are. Try to remember that no matter how bad it gets.
Who taught you, please, who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Look at me. I am not a stereotype. I am an African girl. My ancestors are not dead history. They are discipline. They are fire in my veins. They survived chains and silence so I could speak loudly and dream boldly. Africa is not poor. Africa was paused, and now we press play. Oil, rare earth, arable land? Yes, but the another real wealth is her youth population. Imagine 54 nations, one destiny. Together, we are unstoppable. And now our youths are awake. coding, building, organizing, rewriting the future. We don't beg for seats anymore. We build tables, then export the blueprint. We are ancient and new, rooted and rising. This is the new Africa. Please like and follow this page for more. Bye-bye.
I love being Black. In every universe, under any circumstance, I would want to be Black. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but we are just superior people. We look better, we're built better, we're smarter, we're stronger. Any you can think of, we are. And they hate us because they are not like us. What other race of people has so many different variations, and every single variation is the shit? We got light people, dark people, brown people, caramel people, yellow people, mixed people, dark people, chocolatey chocolate, blackety black. And every last one of them are the shit. And although we are given a hard time every day of our lives, we fight our way through that shit. And not only do we fight our way through that shit, we can find something funny in it. We are such unserious people about such serious things. I would never not want to be Black. I just would never not want to be Black. It's fucking amazing.
I'm not only glad to be Black. I think Black people are incredibly important to planet Earth, because whatever it was, we found a way to love through it. And that's what we're going to have to find a way to write about. We who were enslaved found a way to cook, to dance, to laugh. We found something.
As I started reading about lynching and about the historical situations of crosses in Rome during the time of Jesus, I kept asking myself, how did African Americans survive and resist this lynching terror? How did they do it? There were nearly 5,000 African American men, women, and children who were lynched in America following the Civil War, and their devastated families were left behind to cope with great loss. Fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts, nephews and nieces, cousins and friends, and other loved ones strung up on trees, burned beyond recognition. Often their body parts distributed among the mobs as souvenirs. No blacks were exempted from the horror of the lynching tree.
That's what happened to Simon. He was unexpectedly seized and yanked from the crowd and pulled into a situation that he didn't ask for. He was drafted into suffering without warning or without consent. And isn't that the way it works for us sometimes? You're just trying to live, trying to do what's right, trying to keep the peace, and suddenly you're seized by pain, seized by grief, seized by betrayal, seized by struggle, seized by sickness in your body that you didn't see coming. Sometimes you're seized by a layoff. Sometimes you're seized by depression and don't have the strength to fight. Seized by family drama that you didn't even start. Seized by systemic oppression that you didn't create. Sometimes you're just seized, taken by force. It's imposed upon you without a warning, without mercy, without justice. But here's where you get your shout, church. Though we were seized, we were not shattered. Y'all missed it right there. Would you tell your neighbor, though you were seized, you were not shattered. Though the burden was laid on you, you didn't break under the burden. Why? I'm glad you asked, because you were built different. I'll tell your neighbor, I was built different.
Introducing Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
Heart simply broke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in strong support of my bill
H.R. 4922, the D.C. Crimes Act. Rather than prioritizing the safety of law-abiding and protecting the lives of innocent residents and visitors, district officials have actively facilitated dysfunction and chaos through their progressive soft-on-crime policies. Instead of addressing the clear epidemic of youth crime in the city, the D.C. City Council increased the age of youth offenders to individuals 24 years old and younger, meaning fully grown legal adults in the District of Columbia can receive sentences meant for children. This is simply insane. And that is why I introduced the D.C. Crimes Act, which lowers the definition of youth from under the age of 25 to under the age of 18, removes the ability of judges to sentence youth offenders below mandatory minimum guidelines, and requires the D.C. Attorney General to establish a public website containing much needed statistics on juvenile crime in D.C. The Trump administration's efforts have shown that lawlessness is a choice. And it is time for Congress to step up, adhere to our constitutional duty, and firmly address crime in the nation's capital.
Many people know me for being able to do alliterations, and all I could think about was amnesia allows adolescents accountability avoidance.
Remember in a video a few weeks ago, I told y'all that you have got to research your candidates, Democrats or Republicans or third party. You have got to research those candidates. You cannot look at a political candidate and think to yourself, oh, that political candidate looks like me, so he's going to do right by me. Byron Donalds and Tim Scott are the epitome of not all skin folk are kinfolk. Here's the facts. Byron Donalds is not Black American. He is Caribbean American. He's in this country and at one point was a criminal, not once, but twice, and was able to get his record expunged, was able to participate in programs that were implemented probably by Democrats and was pushed by our ancestors. Because of those programs, Byron Donalds was able to have his record expunged, allowing him to move on with life, to be successful, to become a United States congressman. And now that he was able to benefit from all of that, now he wants to implement policy to prevent young kids from following in the same pathway. He made it up that ladder and now he's pulling the ladder up. And who would that hurt, Black Americans? Who would that hurt the most? You're absolutely right. It would hurt our children the most. And the absurdity of it all is that he supports a 34-count felon. That's Byron Donalds. Research all of your candidates. Don't think because the person looks like you, has the same melanin as you, is looking out for you.
You're so much welcome. For hundreds of years, the world was built on a system that tried to convince Black people that they were nothing, Yeah. A world that convinced Black people they had no history, they had no civilization, they had no intellectual power, But what is happening today is something that scholars, historians, and cultural thinkers predicted will eventually come to pass, is that they did not want to take it seriously, So we have a global awakening. A great part is that Black people are taking the lead. There's a video I've done about that, And a great African scholar, John Henry Clark, once said something very powerful. You know what? He said this, and I quote, "If a people lose their history, they lose their future." And For many centuries, the system tried to erase African history so that we don't know our future, They tried to erase that. But today, something different happening because black people are discovering their history. We are learning again. We are going back to our roots. We are discovering our identity. You know what I mean? And once people discover who they truly are, something powerful happens. They stop accepting lies that they were told about, So across the world, young black people are asking questions right now. They're asking questions the system did not hope it will come to ask. For example, who are we before slavery? Where were we or who are we before colonization? Different questions. Yeah. What civilization did we build? What knowledge did we create? Different questions. And when those questions are answered, pride begins to rise. Now, one of the biggest reasons black pride is rising is because Africa itself is changing. Okay? For a very long time, global media painted Africa as a continent of poverty, war, and suffering. Yes, but the image was never the full truth. Africa has always been a continent of great civilization. We had civilization like Mali, Songhai, Kemet, Great Zimbabwe. We talked about that. And the legendary historian Sheikh Anta Diop spent his life proving that Africa had advanced civilization long before Europe even came out of its dark ages, But the world never wanted that story to be widely known, okay? Because knowledge creates pride, and pride creates independence. And today, when you see the African youth today, they have pride. They are becoming more aware. They are questioning leaderships. They are questioning foreign influence. They are questioning systems that kept Africa dependent. Because an awakened Africa, let me tell you for sure, an awakened Africa changes everything. Okay? Something else is happening. Black people across the world are reconnecting. And for centuries, the system tried to divide black people, divide Africans, divide black Americans, Caribbeans, black Europeans. But today, that division is slowly disappearing. Through social media, through travel, cultural exchange, black people across the globe right now are beginning to see something clearly. We are connected. We talk to each other. I talk to my brothers in the US. I talk to my brothers in Jamaica, in the Caribbean. I have a Trinidad and Tobago sister. I talk to her. She shares some information with me. I have a Grenadian friend. We talk to her. Afro-Grenadian. We have a lot of knowledge right now because we are sharing knowledge. They ask me about Africa. I ask them about that. They ask me about Kenya, Uganda. I ask them about the other side. So for centuries, the system tried to divide us. They try to divide black Americans, Caribbeans. They are putting diaspora wars and it's getting views. Algorithm is high on the wars. People are watching the wars and they're like, we don't like each other. But the wars you are seeing mostly are just created online. But when you come to the ground, when I meet a Jamaican brother, when I meet a black American brother in the streets, I feel good. And it feels good too, being across black people, This division they have created for a very long time, it's slowly disappearing. It's slowly disappearing. And the famous thinker Marcus Garvey spoke about this more than 100 years ago. Are people without knowledge of their past history, are people without knowledge of their origin, are people without knowledge of their culture is like a tree without roots. And today, we are seeing that vision slowly becoming reality. Black Americans are visiting Africa. I see you in Ghana. I see you in Rwanda. I see you in Tanzania. I see you in Nairobi, Kenya. Yes. Black Americans are coming and visiting. Africans are studying the history of the diaspora. I know more about my diaspora brothers because I study about that. Someone asked me, why are you not creating videos about Africa? I have a channel called New Africa. We have that videos of Africa there. But me, right now, I'm studying my diaspora brothers so that I know how well we can connect. Yes, we have a lot of channels that are talking about pure Africa. Yeah. So, and people are panicking, by the way. Whenever a group that was once oppressed begins to rise, the system reacts. History shows this again and again. System always reacts. During the civil rights movement, many people panicked when black Americans demanded equality. During African independence movement, many colonial powers panicked when African nations demanded freedom. And today, it is happening. Similar thing is happening. When black people begin to show pride in their identity, some people feel, you know what? They feel so much uncomfortable. Why? Because the old system depended on black people believing they were inferior. Okay? But that belief is disappearing. Today, black excellence is visible everywhere in technology, it's visible in business, in art, in culture, and the world is seeing black brilliance in ways that it can no longer deny. Okay? And for some people, that reality is difficult to accept. Another reason black pride is rising is because black culture has become global. The music, fashion, language, sports, dance, all over the world, black culture is influencing society. Young people across the planet, they listen to music created by black people, by black artists. They wear fashion created by black styles, by black communities. They follow trend created by black culture. So they are being influenced by black people. And once people realize they have power, their mindsets begin to change. Black people, we have power. We need to have another mindset. Another factor behind the rise of black pride is education. Many books are being written about African history. Yeah, more documentaries are being produced. And it's the reality that is being produced, not the live version. You see, we have greatest thinkers like W.E.B. Du Bois, Frantz Fanon, Walter Rodney, Sheikh Anta Diop, and Africans, and a lot of them. PLO Lumumba, Yeah. So they are creating videos. PLO Lumumba is creating videos every time, and it's reaching people. So these thinkers challenged the narrative that dominated history books, and they showed that Africa was not a continent without civilization. And you'll not hear them complaining because they know it is the truth. Yeah. They will not talk about it because they know it is the truth. And the most powerful force behind the rise of black pride, perhaps, is the youths. Young people today are more connected than any generation before them. Young people today, they share ideas across countries. We exchange knowledge. We are less willing to accept outdated narrative. African youths, to be precise, are questioning corruptions. Diaspora youths are questioning inequality. Students across the world are studying African history with fresh curiosity, So this generation is not satisfied with the old stories. Old stories. They just want truth, and truth has power. Another thing, the biggest lesson from the global awakening is very much simple. Unity. Unity is very much powerful. For centuries, division weakened black communities, different countries, different experiences. But right now, people are realizing something important. Our struggles is connected. Black people's struggles is connected. And that's why we need to be more and more together. Now, if black pride is rising, the next question is very, very much important. What should we do with that pride? Because pride must lead to progress. But solution is first, education must remain central. Communities must continue learning about African history. Second is economic empowerment. It must grow. Supporting black businesses and building strong economics networks creates independence. Number 3 is cultural pride must be protected. Let's protect our music, our art, our language. Number 4, global connection must continue expanding. You travel, you get partnership, you collaborate. This creates stronger bonds between Africa and the diaspora. And finally, leadership must evolve. The next generation of leaders must focus on integrity, unity, and long-term development. You tell me what you think on the comment section. Until next episode, peace out.